Welcome into the Sports Buffoons podcast.
Let's get it going, ladies and gentlemen. We are back once again. When I say back once again, I mean the full Buffoon clan. Welcome on back for us, Tanner Dawson. Thank you for coming along.
Hey, I'm happy to be back.
It has been a month, right?
Oh man,
So you're back in the mix again, back in the saddle, and we're all together here again. Mike Settle, Jason JG, and Tanner. Now, Tanner, why were you gone? What's going on here?
Oh, I'd pick up a little job, and unfortunately, I got scheduled during these times. And then last week we had a little COVID scare, but everything came out just dandy. So nothing there for us to worry about.
Yeah, we talked about it last week on the show, Tanner.
I did hear
We
about
did not
that.
want to have you come over in case of a super spreader event. We did not want to have that happen because we are probably a little bit less than 6 feet from each other at the moment. And so for those of you who watch us on Twitch and on YouTube TV, don't judge us. We are well-known friends, and we might as well live together. So it's almost like you being with your wife or husband at home. So no
Very
judgments.
true.
We just
Very
don't
true.
make out. We don't do that. So
No.
anyways, introduce yourself, Jason JG. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, guys? I am back up in the hizzle. What's going on out there?
What's going on out there? I liked how you said that last week as well, Jason. That was a great thing. And I told the people they should be listening every Thursday morning before work, maybe during work, during lunchtime. And if not, they have the afternoon, of course, on Thursdays to listen to our podcast. It comes out every week. And with all that said, you guys, we have plenty to talk about regarding the Chiefs and regarding some opinions and a little bit of debate, I think, as we go down the road here in this podcast. And the big one here, you guys have anything to talk about? I spoke about this in my show, my solo, I should say, 3 days ago that came out. And it was the Chiefs recap of the Miami Dolphins game, which was a very fun game to watch. I enjoyed it very, very much. Dolphins gave the Chiefs a little scare at the end, but I gave my piece earlier in this week. You guys have not yet spoken about this. So what stood out to you about the Dolphins-Chiefs game real quick?
Well, I would just say that as a Patrick Mahomes owner in fantasy, it was a little bit heartbreaking to see him throw 2 interceptions in a quarter after only throwing 2 interceptions in the entire season, and then obviously 3 interceptions in the game. He still put up 393 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, I mean, overall, it was just, obviously it's not a great game for Patrick Mahomes, but he still made it happen when he needed to make it happen. But more importantly, the Chiefs just clinched their 5th consecutive AFC West title. Do you guys remember when divisional titles still mattered? Back when we had Alex Smith, and you guys used to give me a hard time about this because I would say, dude, we just won the AFC West title, and you guys thought I was trash or whatever, but I was like, that was a big deal back then, and now nobody cares because we have bigger and better things ahead of us. And so the other thing that I'll throw out there is that, you got Tyreek Hill still out there doing his thing, 32-yard touchdown run, 44-yard touchdown reception. Absolutely love that 67-yard punt return for a touchdown by Mecole Hardman. Overall, I think it was a great team win. Defense looked great. However, one reason why the defense looked so great was because the Dolphins' offense had a few key injuries. So just looking on the Dolphins side of things, I made a prediction last week. I told you guys that even though the Dolphins were 8-4, they were going to finish the season by losing their last 4 games in a row. So that has already started. And, you've got Mike Gesicki. He dislocated his shoulder. So that's the guy that Tua is looking for in his rookie season to really make things happen. So, they already had the Chiefs. Now we got to deal with the Patriots, the Raiders, and the Bills. So I am sticking with my prediction for the Dolphins. Unfortunately, if there's any Miami fans out there, they're going to lose those last 3 games. Dolphins have a lot to look forward to next year, and I really like what we're seeing from Tua. But unfortunately, this year it's just not going to happen for him.
Did Devontae Parker ever come back in the game?
I never saw him come back. I don't remember him
I
coming
know
back.
he left on that hard end zone. He almost got that end zone pass there.
Well, there was no memorable plays from him at that point because we were seeing a lot of actually Mahomes' ex-receiver, Jakeem Grant, making plays.
And then he went out on injury.
Yeah.
Because he ended up getting hurt as well. Like, it's just a lot of unfortunate events going on there for the Dolphins for that.
They were already beat up with the running
though.
back situation, too, because they were pulling up guys that we used to have on our team.
Was it Gaskins was on IR, back on IR already? So, after 1 week there. I mean, yeah, Jason, you kind of touched it all. Like, it was, I don't know. Like, how did you guys feel after that first quarter? Were you like, well, this could be a game, like a nail biter? Or were you like, well, we got that quarter out of the way, time to go?
No, I was a little nervous, actually. Like, I thought that the starting off, especially against the defense that was that good, that we know creates turnovers, and we saw in person create turnovers with Patrick Mahomes. Whenever you're down like that, you were down 0-10. I was a little nervous because I'm like, if this team can be rolling, if Tua's efficient, doesn't turn the ball over, then they're going to give us a real fight, and it's not going to be that easy going against a team like that.
All right. What was your thoughts, Jason?
My biggest concern, obviously, like I just said, was the Patrick Mahomes interception because I'm a Mahomes guy, to my core. And I thought it was interesting when they interviewed him after the game that he thought that he actually had half of his interceptions for his entire career came in that stadium since that's where they played the Super Bowl. And so I was just kind of like, my biggest concern right now since, Chiefs, obviously they're vying for that number 1 seed, but my biggest concern is I want to see Patrick Mahomes get that MVP award. And when you're sitting out there throwing 3 interceptions, it was kind of a heartbreaker for me. However, that game is going to come eventually, and you kind of just want to get it out of the way. And so I'm glad that he got it out of the way, and now I'm definitely expecting bigger and better things from Patrick Mahomes, which is very scary to think about if you're an opposing team.
So this game could have gone a lot differently, I feel like, too. So after that second pick, the bad pass to Clyde, that was just out of reach of Clyde's control. The Dolphins kept the Chiefs in by not scoring the touchdown. They got the field goal, but if they would have scored the touchdown, I think it would have been a different momentum going into the second quarter. I think that was a huge key play for the Dolphins in the Chiefs' perspective of not scoring that touchdown and preventing that touchdown. I think that could have been a much different second, third quarter at least, with that momentum, that confidence going in. So they kept the Chiefs around when that's a mistake when Patrick Mahomes is on the field. But I'm going to go to the defense here. They kind of showed up for once. Rushing Nation here. Chris Jones, Frank Clark got involved here.
Well, did you see the scheme from Steve Spagnuolo coming at him? Very exotic blitzing coming on from the Chiefs that game.
It was a lot. It looked different.
Yeah, it was. It was different. It was not bland. They were coming out from all angles, and so they were trying to really mix it up defensively. I saw that a lot as well.
So yeah, overall, guys, I thought this was a game we needed to have, especially this late in the season. And we prevailed after 3 turnovers, and then the Hardman fumble, which nobody loved, but whatever. He needs to just hold on to the freaking ball, for God's sake. So, but I think this was the game that we needed, our defense needed against a decent offense, and hopefully this momentum carries in with the Saints here coming up as well.
Yeah, and speaking of the Saints, we have a tough matchup once again. This is back-to-back weeks with going against a good defense and a good team in general. The Saints are sitting right now at 10-3 on the season after a loss with Taysom Hill as starter, by the way, to the Philadelphia Eagles of all teams. So that was a rough loss. It's 21-24.
Jalen Hurts' debut.
Jalen Hurts played well.
He did play well.
Just a little bit better than Taysom Hill, I suppose. But that kind of makes me want to question a little bit about the Saints coming into this week, because it sounds like Drew Brees could be coming off IR from his broken ribs, and as well as he actually had a punctured lung that he was dealing with during his healing process. And he had some, it was tough.
He got beat up.
He got beat up. Destroyed. And it's been a few weeks, 5 weeks now, 6 weeks maybe, since that injury occurred. And Taysom Hill still went 3-1 with the Saints. So if you guys had to pick, honestly, which quarterback would you be more scared of facing for the Chiefs? Would you be more scared of the Taysom Hill and the way he plays, rushing the ball, as well as being kind of efficient passing too? Or are you more scared of the Drew Brees with broken ribs?
Can I pick Sean Payton?
You're talking about scheme now.
I'm not even talking about quarterback. It doesn't matter who's behind there. I'm afraid of Sean Payton because look what he's done the last 2 years without Drew Brees at the helm.
Yeah, that was their first loss without Drew Brees.
Yeah.
So
Literally,
Teddy Bridgewater last year was undefeated.
Undefeated.
Taysom Hill now 3-1 and barely lost to the Eagles, which you shouldn't lose to the Eagles, but you know what? Still, at the end of the day, it's NFL.
I'm just saying.
Win.
I'm not really afraid of Drew Brees. I'm not really afraid of Taysom Hill. I'm more afraid of the schemes and the way Sean Payton goes about the day-to-day basics, no matter who's at the helm at quarterback.
Who's a tougher one to game plan for the Chiefs?
I'd go probably Drew Brees, but Taysom Hill at the same time you can take over. I'll still go Drew Brees though.
But you know what to expect against Drew Brees. It's going to be a lot of short underneath passing, getting the ball out quick to Alvin Kamara, getting those kind of guys involved. Mm-hmm. He's not going to go downfield on you. That's not going to happen. You know what to expect in that way.
But then you know what Taysom Hill's going to come in and do, and he's just going to run the ball.
Going to run the ball.
Yeah.
But even his passing, he was like 28 of 38.
Yeah, he actually performed
and
pretty
so
well.
in that way, he's actually done a good job. And he's not afraid to throw deep.
Yeah.
He's done it before. He's tried at least.
Yeah, so I guess my pick would be I would be more concerned if Taysom Hill is the starter just because of continuity alone. And honestly, if they throw Drew Brees in there, dude, he's going to be rusty as hell. I mean, obviously, like you said, Mike, we know what Drew Brees' game plan is going to be. I would be a little bit more concerned with Taysom Hill just because he's got a few more games under his belt. They've got that continuity in the offense. So, and obviously, he's a little bit better in the running game. So, what does the running game do? That keeps Patrick Mahomes off the field, which is what you want to do when you're facing the Chiefs.
Yeah, if you got Taysom Hill there and Kamara in the backfield, you can pretty much run the whole entire game, really. And, our defensive weakness is still going to be the running game at this point. Ben Neiman, at linebacker position, is a liability in the running game.
Yes, and I think Neiman is actually going to be involved in the game once again because Damian Wilson did not participate in practice on Wednesday, as well as our tackles. Mike Remmers and Eric Fisher did not participate as well either.
Shorts is still out.
And so, yeah, Shorts is still out. So we got some guys on the list this week that are a little concerning that we need to watch for as far as injuries on the Chiefs' offensive line. But so is your biggest thing then worried about the running game as far as going against guys like Kamara and Murray, and or do you have something bigger that you're worried about?
Yeah, I mean, when I break down the two offenses, I mean, Kansas City's the number 2 offense in the league. The Saints are number 7. But honestly, that New Orleans offense is a little bit skewed because they've dropped their point totals down, especially over the last 4 games with Taysom Hill in there. They're only putting up 24 points versus Atlanta. Then they put up 31 versus Denver. Then they played Atlanta again and only put up 21 points. Dude, Atlanta is a weak defense. So with Taysom Hill in there, they only put up 24 and 21 points, and then they only put up 21 against Philadelphia. So, I mean, the fact that they are the number 7 defense in the league right now, that is very skewed just because it's gone down over the last few weeks. But, I mean, like I said earlier, the key to the game is, can that Saints defense keep Mahomes off the field long enough to cause the Chiefs some problems? And I think they can do that, and that's why I think this is going to be a pretty close game.
I think by default it's going to be a close game. Like your key, the Saints' key, any team that plays the Chiefs' key game is that game plan. You either keep Mahomes off the field or you try to control it. And guess what? You're not going to control it. Look at the Dolphins, right? They just had 3 turnovers and they still got beat. And they were still down by 20 at one point. So, that's the key. That's the key for any team playing the Chiefs. You keep Mahomes on the sidelines, you're probably looking all right.
Yep, I agree. So I think we probably all feel like the Chiefs, once again, are the best team in the NFL.
Yes.
12-1 right now, as you guys see if you're watching here live on our little screen down at the very bottom. We got Chiefs 12-1 listed down there for you, in case anyone was left wondering, which they shouldn't be at this point. Now that the Pittsburgh Steelers lost to the Buffalo Bills, the Chiefs are in sole first place of the entire league.
So, real quick, guys, I want to know, in your opinions, just off the bat, if you do have one, is there a team in the NFL that we worry about as the Chiefs fans, as Kansas City Chiefs fans?
Of course. There's teams that can beat the Chiefs when doing it the right way. I think you can absolutely say the Titans are one of the teams that has a chance to beat the Chiefs when it comes down to the playoffs. And we should be a little worried about them if that's what it comes down to, because they have the formula to know how to slow down the Chiefs, ball control, run the ball with Derrick Henry, run it right at Ben Neiman maybe if that's what you need to help yourself. And then efficient quarterback play. A guy's not going to really turn the ball over too much as far as Ryan Tannehill. He's going to find his tight ends. He's going to hit his receivers. A.J. Brown's having a great season. And so I think the Titans are a team to watch out for because they've proven in the past that they have capabilities to beat the Chiefs, even with Patrick Mahomes. So that's my team. Anybody else stand out to you, Jason?
Honestly, I'm just not worried about the AFC. So if I'm sitting there and I'm in the Super Bowl and I'm the Chiefs, I've got two teams in the entire NFL that I would have a concern about, and that is the Saints, who are getting ready to play. We'll find out a little bit more about that, and the Buccaneers. And if you guys have been listening to this podcast for any amount of time, we talk about all sports. I'm a defensive guy. I look at defensive stats first, and that's why I would be the most concerned as a Chiefs fan if I'm facing the Saints or the Bucs in the Super Bowl. Anybody else in the NFC or in the NFL, for that matter, I don't have too many concerns. Those are the two teams. You got to have a good running game. You got to have a good defense. And, I think the Saints and the Bucs fit that bill. But on the AFC side, I just don't really see anyone out there. I mean, I told you guys last week that I was never a big believer in the Steelers. So, I mean, they were supposedly one of the best teams in the AFC. I mean, and at this point, obviously nobody cares about the Steelers. I mean, unless you're a Steelers fan. But, like I said, on the AFC side, I mean, what are we looking at? Baltimore? They may not even make the playoffs.
Baltimore's not even a threat. They probably may not even make the playoffs, like you said. I think
we got Baltimore's number.
Yeah, we do. I ain't worried about Baltimore. I'd say Mike. Now, the Titans would be the one team in my mind as well, but they're so inconsistent is that you don't know which team of the Titans you're going to get. Are you going to get the ones that lay down and lose like they have earlier this year to bad teams, or are you going to get the ones that come out and play tough against the Colts, the Steelers?
Yeah, but Tanner, think about this. If you're playing the Chiefs, you're going to bring your A game.
Yeah.
And so they're not going to lay down against the Chiefs. They know to prepare. They know to be ready mentally, physically.
They're so inconsistent.
They are inconsistent. I agree with that. But when you know you're going to be playing the Chiefs, you're going to get the best test against that team, and especially the Titans.
Yes, but on the flip side, if you're playing the Titans, you know exactly what they bring to the table. All you have to do is stop Derrick Henry. Are you really scared about Ryan Tannehill? No. You're going to stop Derrick Henry, and that's your game plan. You know exactly what they're going to try to do on the offensive side of the ball. And so that's why I'm not a big believer in the Titans. I know you brought up their inconsistencies, but on the defensive side of the ball, they're very consistent in the fact that you know exactly what they're going to do. And so you know exactly what you need to do if you're the Chiefs to stop them.
That's fair. Yep, that's fair.
All right, you guys, we can talk about our score prediction later on and read to the pick'ems at the end of our show and discuss a little bit real quick as far as what we think, who we think is going to win that game here this weekend, coming up at 3:25 local Central Time in Overland Park, Kansas. So I want to talk about something with you guys real quick. I'm kind of really excited about this. I want to talk about Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is my ultimate man crush in general, just as a player since he came to the Chiefs. He's been very passionate about the city. He's been very, in general, a big fan. He wears this Chiefs hat everywhere he goes. He's got all the Chiefs gear. He's got old school Chiefs gear. He wants to be here for the rest of his career. He's put all the numbers. He's the best tight end in Chiefs history, right, Tanner?
Are you a scumbag?
Oh, apparently I am.
Because
apparently I'm a big scumbag.
Dave Portnoy, you sound exactly like one of the scumbags.
Mm-hmm. As far as Portnoy, as far as he says, anyone who likes Travis Kelce is a scumbag. So count me in. I am officially in the scumbag fan club.
Because only Gronk can be the real one.
But the reason I bring up Travis Kelce for you guys real quick is that Travis Kelce leads the NFL in receiving yards right now at 1,250 yards receiving. He's 70 yards ahead of DK Metcalf, which is second in the league right now. And a tight end has never led the NFL in receiving yards in the history of the league. And right now we have something, we're witnessing the greatest historic, best tight end season of all time here in Kansas City. Yes, better than anything Tony Gonzalez ever did, better than anything Rob Gronkowski ever did,
Antonio Gates.
better than anything Antonio Gates ever did, better than anything Jason Witten ever did.
How crazy is that, though? We're bringing up these legendary names, and Travis Kelce is about to make history that none of the other tight ends have ever
We
made.
have 3 games left in the season. We have a tight end who's about to lead the league in receiving yards, plus break the old tight end record set by George Kittle from 2 years ago. That's going to be ridiculous. Not only
Unreal.
that, I got a couple more stats for you, Tanner. I think you're going to like. Travis Kelce also leads the NFL in first downs made at 67. The next closest is Hopkins at 64. So a tight end leads the NFL in first downs committed. And then also, when you take away Alvin Kamara as a running back, Travis Kelce leads the entire NFL in yards after catch. Are you kidding me? A tight end leads the NFL in yards after catch. That is absolutely absurd.
And these are against names like Tyreek Hill,
Yes.
fastest man alive.
Yes.
Like, come on. Like,
And by the way, Tyreek Hill's going to set the Chiefs record for most touchdowns in the season.
Yeah,
He's got 14 right now receiving, one more to tie Dwayne Bowe, and then he's going to crush that.
Jason, what are your thoughts, man? Like,
Well, I mean, I've got a list here, guys. I'm good at lists. I like to bring a list to the show every day. And so I've got your top 7 in receiving yards. I've got Travis Kelce, DK Metcalf, Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson. And as much as I want to see this thing happen, what you're talking about with Travis Kelce leading the league in receiving by the end of the year, I just don't think it's going to happen. And a couple guys that are going to have something to say about that. Number one for me is Tyreek Hill. I mean, I don't think Kelce is going to lead his own team in receiving because I think Tyreek Hill is going to surpass him just from catching all those long bombs from Patrick Mahomes. And so I don't think he's going to be number one in the NFL. I don't think he's going to be number one on his own team. But even after that, you got another couple of guys who are going to have something to say about that. And I would throw in Devontae Adams as well as DK Metcalf. And the reason I say those two names is because, dude, those two guys play on teams that do not have a good defense.
or any
They
other
do not
receivers.
have a good defense, which means they are going to be chucking the ball. And if you're Aaron Rodgers, who are you going to chuck it to? Devontae Adams. If you're Russell Wilson, you're going to chuck it to DK Metcalf. So as much as I want to see Kelce, end up on top, I just don't see it happening.
Isn't Travis Kelce? Maybe he's not. Maybe it's Tyreek. But isn't Travis Kelce the number one targets for Mahomes?
Yeah, as far as most
I right?
targeted receiver.
Yeah.
Actually, if you want to hear something crazy, Tanner, so the NFL record for most 100-yard games in a season from a tight end is 6. And Kelce's got 6 right now on the season. But here's the thing. In the last 6 weeks, he's had 5 of those in the last 6 weeks, and he's been targeted a minimum of 8 times. And he's got 8 or more catches every single game in the last 6 weeks. That's an incredible...
Look at the fact that the way Kelce brought it against a good Dolphins secondary this week. In the second quarter, who did we target right off the bat coming in? It was freaking Kelce, right? Kelce was the one making the plays. He was getting upfield. That touchdown, Mahomes and him had this connection where this helps Kelce's value just continually increase. That touchdown they did, no other receiver or anybody is going to just take a step left or stay where they're at. And Mahomes just slightly chucks it in there. Like, who's going to do that?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the connection that he has with Mahomes.
Yeah, the only other thing I would throw out in this argument is just the amount of receptions. So if you're looking at the most receptions, you've got Stephon Diggs. He's got 100 receptions right now, and he's not too far behind Kelce. He's number 3 in yardage. And then Kelce's got 90 receptions, and Devontae Adams has 91. So that if you're looking at receptions or yards, those are kind of the guys we're looking at that are in the mix.
So one of the stats you brought up, Mike, was the first downs, right, with Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Getting that first down. Well, the Chiefs are constantly in a third, fourth down issue every time. Like, Travis Kelce could actually potentially do this season. Could score, could get those targets and the yardage, because he's always somehow open when we need him to be open. And then he turns it upfield for another 3, 4, 5, 6 yards. Just like he did on that low pass that he took early in the second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this guy is always consistently open. He has moves that tight ends should not be moving like at all. And I think he could do this. I think he will lead at the end of the season.
I do, and here's the other thing. Another crazy stat for you guys. With all the receivers we have in this league, they're so explosive. He actually leads the league in big plays as well. So 21 yards or more, or 20 yards or more, he's got 21 big plays.
No.
The guy behind him is Tyreek Hill at 19. So you're telling me a tight end leads the NFL in big plays? What? What is this? This is absurd.
This is ridiculous.
He's the most insane player as a tight end I've ever seen in my life.
Again, we talked about it in our Travis Kelce, Tony G podcast, guys.
Have you changed your mind yet, Tanner? Come
I
on.
haven't changed my mind yet.
Oh,
But
you
anyways,
bastard.
I'm not going back into that. But, like, guys, we're talking, what, not even 20 years? Not even 15? Not even 10?
Right.
Of separation of great tight ends on the Chiefs?
We never thought we'd have another one to replace
Who would
Tony.
have thought
We
that
found
somebody
better.
on the Chiefs would be another version of Tony G?
We
but
found better. It's amazing.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm going to feel bad about that argument that we had earlier in the year between Travis Kelce and Tony G. I mean, there's nothing more that's going to look like egg on our face that we actually had that argument after, you know,
And
and
then
then
he goes
later
for
on,
Smith.
Travis Kelce leads the NFL in receiving
Yeah.
yards.
Breaks the touchdown record,
I'm going to
100-yard
feel bad about
games,
even
like-
having that debate.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Exactly. So, anyways, I wanted to splurge a little bit, if you know what I'm saying, wink, wink, about Travis Kelce for a minute, because let's admire this guy. Let's embrace and enjoy what he's doing for us in Kansas City. At 31 years old, it's like it doesn't really matter. He's playing like he's getting better with age, maybe.
Let's throw this out there, right? So the Chiefs, number 1 seed right now in the AFC, they only have 1 loss. We take Travis Kelce out of this equation with Mahomes and Hill and everybody. Are the Chiefs still 12-1?
I'm going to say no. I think Travis Kelce adds on 1 or 2 extra wins to the Chiefs' record currently.
Jason?
Yeah, I mean, I actually agree with you on that. I mean, that's 1 or 2 extra losses. I mean, we've got Sammy Watkins in there that you could throw him in if we didn't have Kelce to do a few different things.
But he's got to be healthy.
Yeah,
Sammy
he's got to
Watkins.
be healthy. I mean, you got Mecole Hardman would take a little bit bigger role, but yeah, I'm with you on that. I think there would be at least 1 to 2 more losses without Travis Kelce.
So, thinking about it again, same situation. Is there a tight end on our roster that Mahomes would uplift
No.
towards this capability?
Oh, my God. Have you seen our backup tight end, Tanner, Nick Keiser?
Yeah.
The guy is pathetic. We
Well,
have
he's-
not had a good backup tight end the entire time Travis has been on this team. Since 2013.
What about Keith Cash? Is he still on the team?
He's
Or
better
is
than
that-
Nick, he's better than Nick
That was
Keiser.
back in the 90s. Never mind.
I will take Keith Cash over Nick Keiser any day of the week right now in 2020.
Obviously, there's a lot of hope for Ricky Seals-Jones coming in the offseason, and he has been inactive except for like 2 games.
Tanner, I would take Fred Arbanis over Nick Keiser at this point. I don't care how old he is.
So, like, I just want, like, understand, guys, the importance of Travis Kelce to this Chiefs squad, to Patrick Mahomes. That's the reason why we're 12-1,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
and that's the reason why we're number 1 in the AFC, and possibly looking at a back-to-back Super Bowl.
Losing Kelce would hurt big time.
Big time. Big time. Well,
Yep.
so was it the Titans game when we had Alex Smith and Tannehill and Darrell Revis was on our team? That Travis
playoff
Kelce,
game?
yeah, that Travis Kelce went out on a concussion.
Yep.
Right?
That did happen in that
Did.
playoff
And
game.
he went out of the concussion. We didn't have him the rest of the game, and the impact was severe for Alex Smith and the offense.
Absolutely. We ended up losing that game due to some more fluky nonsense that
Revis.
somehow the Chiefs' old past history playoff-wise was always full of.
But that hurt the offensive production. That's how important he is to this offense, guys. Do
Yeah.
not underestimate what we're seeing right now.
Yep, enjoy him very, very much. And one other thing I actually want to talk to you guys about, now we're talking a little about Kelce and Mahomes. Just real quick for you guys, I want your opinion after Mahomes had technically his worst quarter of his entire career this past week. Can we talk real quick about the MVP race? Because it's down to 2 guys. It's Rodgers and Mahomes. With all bias aside, Rodgers has played great. Rodgers himself also had a really bad game. And so I want to put that in perspective. That all these guys have had off games. Even Mahomes' bad game threw for 393 and 2 touchdowns.
You wanna talk about what Nick Wright said this week? Jason, did you catch that?
I have not heard
You have
anything
not heard
about
Nick?
Nick Wright. Big surprise, because as much as I like Nick Wright as a person, we don't agree as much about LeBron James and things of that nature.
So Nick Wright, he actually had a pretty solid statement in his show earlier this week, and it was the reason Patrick Mahomes is still leading the MVP race is because Patrick Mahomes can still have a bad game and still win. Versus Aaron Rodgers, he had a horrible game against the Bucks early in the season, and they only scored 10 points, and they lost. Right? They lost that game, and then he did it again against the Colts, one of my pick'ems, right? That I picked on that. He had another multi-turnover game, and they lost. Patrick Mahomes has 2 in the first quarter and 1 amazing interception catch by Xavier Howard, and he still throws for over 3 and brings him to 30, helps with the 30 points there, and still wins the game like it was nothing. That's the reason Patrick Mahomes is the MVP leader, and Nick Wright had it. That was a great call out by him.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at the stats right now, I mean, these two guys are pretty much even for the MVP race. And so if you want to do a little bit of nitpicking here, an interesting fact for everybody out there, Aaron Rodgers has 1 reception for -6 yards.
Is that the end-all be-all for MVP? Jason?
That could be the
That's
end-all
deciding
be-all for
factor
MVP.
for
And
MVP.
so, I'm going to count it against him. But as far as everything else is concerned, I mean, Patrick Mahomes had his first bad game of the season, whereas Aaron Rodgers, I think he's a little bit overdue for one of those letdown games, and it's probably going to happen towards the end of the season. And so I think Patrick Mahomes is going to basically work his way back up the ladder, as we say, and so he's gonna blow up, dude, especially from a fantasy perspective. I mean, he's gonna blow up, whereas Aaron Rodgers, he's gonna have a letdown game.
Another one. So, after the first quarter, there was a lot of Twitter talk of, this is now Aaron Rodgers MVP, Aaron Rodgers MVP. Is it because it's so late in the season we were seeing that? Or are we seeing it because everybody forgot that Aaron Rodgers blew the Bucks and Colts game?
No, it's just the fact that, I mean, it's all about human nature. So when you have a bad game like Patrick Mahomes just had, what are you trying to do as a human being? You're trying to fix your issues. Whereas in the case of Aaron Rodgers, he's only thrown, 4 picks all year?
Yeah.
And so we were sitting there looking at Patrick Mahomes saying, oh my gosh, he's only got 2 interceptions all year. Well, it was time for his letdown game, and now he's got it out of the way. And so I think Patrick Mahomes is in a good position. I mean, it's definitely down to those 2 guys. And honestly, we could flip a coin if one of you guys, we got some coins over here. If somebody wants to flip a coin to see who is going to win the MVP this year, we could go that route.
Let's go ahead and flip a coin on this one, because I do prefer Mahomes in this situation for sure. We're 12-1, and Mahomes' bad game, he won. Aaron Rodgers' bad game, he threw for 160, no touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Meanwhile, that was against the Buccaneers, a team that Mahomes torched. So, we'll flip a coin, though, just for the sake of argument. Heads is going to be Mahomes, tails is going to be Rodgers. So, let's see what we end up with, you guys. Oh, Aaron Rodgers wins MVP.
Wow.
According to the coin.
Tails, okay.
Yeah, it was tails.
So we'll see how that turns out, guys. I'll have to stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we might have to take a look at their schedule.
The quarterback
we
rating.
take a look at the schedule and see who's got an easier schedule towards the end of the season.
The quarterback rating right now,
Chiefs
Rodgers
do.
leads by 7 points. So it's 119 to 112 for the season at the moment. So I guess you can factor that into play. But let's be honest, it's going to come down, to everything at the end of the year.
The most important thing is who's going to win the Super Bowl MVP.
Absolutely.
As bad as I want Mahomes to win that regular season MVP, like Peyton Manning used to do all the time back in the day, Peyton Manning,
He was for life, guys.
He was considered the GOAT because he was the regular season MVP and greatest regular season guy of all time. As much as I want to see that for Mahomes, I'd rather have the Super Bowl MVP. We'll just take that to the bank, and we won't worry about the rest of it.
They can rotate the MVP for regular season all they want, as long as Mahomes gets that Super Bowl MVP each year.
Yeah. Well, you guys, let's talk about something a little more different for a minute here before we get onto our pick'ems. And what I was kind of thinking about is that I've always had this thing in my mind where I've always wanted to go to, if I had all the money in the world, my plan would be to go to every NFL stadium just once to see a game. I think that would be super, super cool to experience every stadium, just go see a game at every stadium, and spend my time and money doing that with whatever I have. If I'm a multi-millionaire, let's put it that way. But with that said as well, are there certain cities you guys think about that are your favorite cities to also go experience and have enjoyed going to? Because I want to go see a game and then have something fun to do afterwards. So what are your top 4, your Mount Rushmore of cities in the United States that you would love to go to?
Yeah, I've got a Mount Rushmore here, and amazingly enough, it's probably about the nicest NFL stadium in the league right now. My number 1 city to visit in the U.S. is Las Vegas. You've got gambling, you've got all the shows out there, you got the best food in the world, the best chefs, and you also have the best nightclubs in the world. And, oh, by the way, all of your alcoholic beverages are free. All you got to do is sit down at a table and pretend to play blackjack. That's my number 1.
Secret of success.
Yeah, so number 2, I got to go with San Diego. Everybody loves Southern California, and to me, that's the most beautiful city in Southern California. They got the best beaches, amazing downtown area. If you guys ever look at downtown Kansas City and then the next day you go look at downtown San Diego, you're not going to believe your eyes. It's like night and day. And then my number 3 would be Lake Tahoe. It's not because I got married there on a boat with the Lonely Island.
I'm on a boat.
But it's because of their, you can go skiing, you can go hiking, so much stuff to do out there. And, oh, by the way, there's more casinos in Lake Tahoe, which is important to yours truly. And then my number 4 favorite place to visit in the U.S. would be San Antonio. I know the Spurs, which are my favorite NBA team, they haven't not been relevant for the last 6 years, although they did win the championship in 2014. But they've also got the Riverwalk down there, which is another place that you can go on a boat and go to a lot of nice restaurants down there. So that's my Mount Rushmore of cities in the United States.
Yeah, so I don't really travel much, to be honest with you. I've been to a few handful of spots, but nothing major. Las Vegas is definitely one of my top. I've walked the Strip back and forth. My brothers know this too, and I could do it again.
Tanner, did you get lost at MGM?
No, I did not.
I think you got us lost a few times. We've been there.
You just pointed me in the wrong direction.
I should have been the one following or leading, I should say, the pack, because you definitely took us in circles a few times.
Hey, we ended up in an alley and we got back on the Strip. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
All right.
We figured it out.
Well, here's the thing about Las Vegas. The whole city is designed to get you lost, or at least
True.
in terms of the Strip, the Las Vegas Strip.
The actual Strip
They
itself.
designed the entire Strip to make sure that you get lost. So don't feel bad about that.
Oh, I don't. MGM Grand was confusing anyways, so. But yeah, I'd say Las Vegas is definitely one of my favorites. There's just so much to do there, and they got. I really want to go to a boxing or UFC fight there someday. I think that'd just be cool to experience live at MGM. Outside of that, I don't think you mentioned this, but the sportsbook place in each casino is probably one of the coolest things to go to on a Sunday. And I know Mike got to experience that a few times. He's been there, so.
There was a brand new one, by the way, by Fremont Street.
Really?
Now that they've built up. So that's actually very, very cool. You go to Fremont, they have a very nice sports book that they just built. I can't remember the name of it, but it's actually stadium seating in there to watch games while you do your sports betting. But you have to reserve a booth. And those booths can be upwards of $300 to maybe thousands of dollars, maybe even upwards of $15,000 for a good booth over there. So
Oof. All
probably
right,
not
yeah.
really worth my money.
I think I'll pass. Anyways, so that was Las Vegas was definitely one of my top. I'd say if you wanted a hot weather but cool night and no humidity, go down to Phoenix, guys. Phoenix is one of the top. My brother moved there recently, got to move him down there, and I loved every minute of it. We went to a lake up near Phoenix, and me and my other brother that moved him down, we ended up going kayaking. out there too, and that like it was literally on top of a mountain, like one of the mountains there, and it was just big lake there, and it was awesome and relaxing. There's no humidity, unlike the Midwest where you're sticky as hell. So I'd say recommend that, especially the bar life down there. It's pretty solid. I mean, really outside of that, guys, Tulsa, we've been plenty of times. I haven't really gone anywhere, though.
Yeah, I gotta love Phoenix, Arizona. I agree with you on that. They just barely missed my list. I mean, my brother used to live there as well, so I've been down there a few times. Love the weather. I mean, the most important thing is that it never gets cold like it does in here in Kansas City, so you never have to worry about it.
And my brother, he's back here for Christmas and everything. He's like, I have to check the weather again. Down there, you don't have to even check the weather. You know it's going to be hot during the day, and you know it's going to be nice at night. Very rarely do they get any precipitation as well. So there's no rust on any of the cars either. So it's also a car lover's world down there.
So what you're saying is you never check the weather. You just go out and get hammered, right? That's the game plan every single day.
Pretty much. It's like you're going to Jerry's up here nonstop on a weekend. Mike knows all about that.
Did you just bring up Jerry's Bait Shop?
No, please don't talk about that.
Wow.
Anyways,
there.
So yeah,
you saved that for towards the end of the show.
I'd say
you?
Vegas. I love Tulsa with the guys, especially down in Margaritaville. They have really great breweries down there. We actually played ping pong at one a couple times. That was fun. But like I don't go a lot of places, guys. I'm not a big flyer either. I prefer not to, but I'll fly to Vegas. So. But yeah, that's my three.
All right, you guys elaborated quite a bit, but I'm just going to go kind of quick on mine because you guys stole three of the ones I already had. So
what was yours?
My number one for myself, I love going to Las Vegas, as I think we all agree. Mm-hmm. That is my number one. I enjoy that every single time I go. I go once a year now, minimum. So I was just there recently. It was, as you guys know, for the Raiders game. The Chiefs won 3 weeks ago. Was it 3 weeks ago or was it a month ago? I can't remember now. 3 weeks ago. And I was there for that. It was a great time. Love it so much out there. My number two, actually on my list, is San Diego. So I'm agreeing with Jason here. Jason JG had one of my cities on my list because that is a gorgeous place. Absolutely phenomenal. It's too bad that they can't keep a football team there. But,
yeah, right.
That's besides the point. The city itself is wonderful. So I would have loved to go to Qualcomm and enjoying the red shirts out there because every time the Chiefs ever played there in San Diego, the entire stadium was red. Just keep that in mind.
I've been to Qualcomm again when they did play.
And I heard it was a turd bowl. Was it a turd bowl of a stadium?
Pretty much.
Okay.
But I was so tired at that time that I didn't really care, and I think the Chiefs won that game. So
we typically did.
Great experience.
That is true. My number three, Tanner, is Phoenix. So Phoenix is the next spot for me, where I have a lot of friends who have been in Phoenix, lived in Phoenix, live in Phoenix currently. I've never once heard one bad word about anyone who's ever lived there that says one bad word about Phoenix. Never heard a bad word about it. Of course, it's hot. Oh, 115 degrees. I get it.
Maybe just the power.
But
like the
I can
rules
deal
on
with
utilities.
that. The utility bill is probably a little higher. Stuff like that. But as far as like everything else about the whole city, I've heard it's wonderful.
Yeah. The other thing I forgot to point out is that the real estate is insanely cheap right now. And actually, my best friend, he's getting ready to move there right now, and so I'm very jealous. I'm jealous about this guy, but anyway, if you're looking for cheap real estate, move out to Phoenix right now.
For cheap real estate, it's going to be warm all the time. No true snow in winter typically, right?
And baseball spring training. That's the most important thing.
Oh my!
And
those are fun.
The ladies out there always have something to show off because it's too warm to put on clothes. So. They add that to the mix, I guess.
They never put on their clothes.
Oh, of course. It gives them a good reason. And I've also heard whispers into the microphone from a friend that the male to female ratio is like 60% female, 40% male. So your odds of landing a big fish is very greater than it is anywhere else.
I'm going to have to probably move Phoenix up my list a little bit. Anyway.
Just putting that in perspective for my guys out
That's
there.
the Mount Rushmore, so we can move on to the next topic.
And my, okay, well, I have one more. Hold on, one more, I think.
One more?
Well, I gave three for you guys. I agree with you guys.
Three. You got one more.
We all agreed. I have one more.
One more.
Well, one more, you guys. I don't know what you think of this, but I enjoy visiting, never live here, Denver, Colorado, because I think that is the best place to go if you're into craft beer, if you're into that kind of atmosphere. It's a little hipster these days, and we've got a lot of issues out there in Denver. It's becoming little LA over time. And eventually it will become just like LA, if not worse. but we'll see how things go. And but Denver, Colorado is a great place to go visit, experience a few things out there, maybe see the Chiefs go beat the Broncos again when you get a free chance, and go to all the craft breweries because they have the best craft beer per capita, I think, in the entire U.S. That's just my opinion, though. But after that, guys, we're done with the Mount Rushmore. Let's move on to our pick'ems.
Pick'em
Time. All right, let's do this. Now, speaking of...
Well,
what?
actually,
Oh,
we
go ahead,
gotta
Tanner.
get a recap, guys. It's been like 4 weeks since we've even been together.
Where are we sitting at?
So, hey, let's just talk, guys. Right. So, week 12 was the last time we were together for anything to pick 'em. So, I did mine on a separate solo each week. The guys refused to announce mine last week, even though I texted to them. Thanks for that. So, but I've been
Tanner, I did announce it.
Did you announce it?
Yes, I told them all your picks.
Early? Before your picks?
Yep.
Oh, I missed them.
I promise you, Tanner. Remember that, Jason? I told him all the picks on there for Tanner.
Well, he might have not been sober, but he did what he was supposed to do. That's all I'm going to say.
Correct. But I did say your picks, Tanner.
Yeah,
Don't
I know
worry.
he wasn't sober, but yeah.
I'm always sober for this show.
So, hey, week 12 was the last time we were together, guys, and a lot actually has changed in our pick'ems for this going forward. So, the end of week 12, guys, Mike was still ahead at 102. I had 101, and Jason was 100. Week 13 hit. Mike took a big hit on this one. I went up 112. Mike 110. Jason 108.
I think we need to do a recount.
I got it all
Have
right
you guys
here.
ever heard of that?
wanna
I
do
don't
a
know if you
recap?
guys watch the
Tanner,
news,
I
but
think you're like whispering to the public right now. You're like telling secrets almost.
You're gonna have to.
can we do a recount? Can we do a hand recount, or do we have to do it over the machines?
You're gonna have to do it in court.
Oh, on the court. I need to go to the Supreme Court.
Yeah,
Okay.
I need
exactly.
to get that
There
done
we go.
first.
I'm happy now.
What does the
As long as we got that
electoral
worked out.
college say about this?
Oh yeah, well we're not going to go that far.
Okay.
we don't care that much.
And then week 14, guys, recently had here. I am still on top, despite Mike and Jason leading last week. I'm at 122 for the year. Mike's at 121, and Jason's right there at 119. So we're all still really close, and all it takes is a couple of good weeks, and Jason could be pulling ahead of us.
I'm just going to chalk up this whole thing to fraud. That's all I can say.
Hey, I got it all written down on my notebook here. You can recount yourself.
All right. So what are we at currently, Tanner?
So current standings, I'm at 122 of first place. Mike's at second place with a 121. And Jason in third place, but not far, 119.
All right. Well, we're all close, but keep in mind, Tanner. Let's revert back to I think it was like week 4 when
I
you didn't
called you
count.
out?
You didn't count some of my votes.
Yeah, because you didn't
No,
say
he didn't get counted. He didn't get counted.
That's what I mean. He didn't count some of my votes.
So
that
we're
week.
going to hire an attorney for that, right? Can we hire a professional?
I'll never forget that, Tanner.
Yeah,
that
that's
you
fine.
left
I
off
got
by
all the
my
evidence
games.
I need in those videos.
Those
the
votes,
podcast.
those votes were already determined, and you knew what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Were the votes certified? Did you certify the votes?
Did
That's
you
the most
say it?
important
Didn't
question.
you? All right, let's jump into this. Let's jump into this podcast,
All right,
picks,
I'm done
guys.
bullshitting with you guys with this. All right, we have some games this
Butthurt
week
Mike
coming
over
up.
here.
Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So we have many days of the week coming up, starting tomorrow, or I should say Thursday evening for you guys. Speaking of one of our favorite places, or actually all of our favorite places to go visit, is the Las Vegas Raiders playing at home with the Los Angeles Chargers. Going to be a good game against two teams that are decent. I actually like the Chargers at times. I think the Raiders have a chance to be a decent team every once in a while too. Just don't almost lose to the Jets, and I think highly of you. But then again, you do something like that, and I think you're a bum.
I almost called
You know
that
what?
game. God.
You know what? In this game though, it's going to be tough, but it's going to be fun. I will go with the team who has more experience at this point in general. I will go with the Las Vegas Raiders to win.
Yeah, I'll go with the Raiders as well. They are -3. It's going to be a close game. Chargers are 1-5 on the road though this year, so give me the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm going Raiders as well. I don't see any reason why they lose to the Chargers. The Chargers defense is not any good, and that should take care of them.
All right, you guys. Is Drew Lock for real after 4 touchdowns last week? That's pretty great for him. Good
And he
job.
beat a decent Carolina team too. That's really surprising to me. He's had some surprising games.
Locke has talent. He's a very talented passer for sure. There's no debating that. It's about everything else within that team that I think he needs to work on. But we have Buffalo Bills at Denver Broncos. I will take the better team in this situation. Give me the Bills to win on Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Central Time.
Yeah, I'll take the Bills as well. Drew Lock, he played great, but he's due for one of those letdown games like we always talk about. Buffalo's -4. Buffalo's giving up 18 points per game in the last 3 games. So they're going to win the game and cover that 4 points.
That's surprising. Wow. I am going the better team as well. The Bills, this is playoff time, guys. This starts playoffs for them start now. So I'm going the Bills because they have to continue to win.
All right, my quarter called him the MVP. So Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay is going to be playing at home against Carolina Panthers. And this is an easy one for me on Saturday as well at 7:15 p.m. Green Bay should absolutely win this game against Carolina pretty easily.
Yeah, I'll go with the Green Bay Packers here. They're -8.5. Don't necessarily think they're going to cover that spread. Teddy Bridgewater is going to keep Carolina in the game, but I will always take Aaron Rodgers in this game. So give me the Packers.
Go Pack, go. Go Pack, go.
All right, that easy. All right, Tanner.
That's all you need.
Good to hear. I love it. All right, then on Sunday, starting off at noon, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Atlanta Falcons. Should be a good game in general, but I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win and prevail with Tom Brady at the helm.
Yeah, I'll go with Tampa Bay. They are -5. I do believe they'll cover that spread. Atlanta just doesn't have an effective running game right now, so give me the Bucs.
Atlanta's disappointed me multiple weeks already. Every time they're supposed to win a game, they lose it. They lost to the Broncos last week, so no, I'm going Bucs will win the game.
All right, then we have San Fran and Dallas. I will just go Dallas here.
Yeah, dude, this is going to be my coin flip game because I'm not a big believer in either one of those teams. So let's do heads for San Francisco. And we got tails. So I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys. They had the best game of the year last week. Unfortunately, it was against the Cincinnati Bengals. But, I got to do what I got to do. I'll go with the coin flip, and I'll take the Cowboys.
I am taking the Niners because I don't think the Cowboys are real. Cowboys aren't real. They got lucky against a bad team. The Niners will win.
All right, let's talk about a better team now. The Tennessee Titans playing at home against Detroit. This will be an interesting game, but Derrick Henry is on fire lately. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to his ground game, but he is in prime form right now going into the playoffs, soon, obviously. So I will go with the Tennessee Titans to beat Detroit Lions.
Yeah, Derrick Henry is definitely on fire right now. You got Matthew Stafford. He's uncertain for this game. He's got a rib injury. So I am going to take Derrick Henry and the Titans. Derrick Henry is going to blow up against that 29th ranked rush defense of Detroit. And the Titans are going to cover that 8.5 point spread.
Guys, Aragno, the Lions center, is out with a fractured throat?
Yeah, I saw that today, actually.
A fractured throat.
Is that fake news? I've never heard of that.
No, that's the thing. No, he played the rest of the game with it, right?
Yeah,
Tanner?
he played the rest of the game with it.
He finished the game with a fractured throat.
Like, Frank Ragnow approached Stafford and Chase Daniel early in Sunday's loss to Green Bay, told them they would have to make the line calls for the rest of the game because he couldn't talk. How crazy is that? I'd never heard of that, but hey, he kept playing and got it. They made sure the QBs were aware. So I am going Titans though in this matchup. But I just thought I'd bring that up because that was just really interesting to hear.
All right. After that, we got the Houston Texans at the Indianapolis Colts. I wish this game could be more fun, but I just got to go with the Colts, I guess. I mean, they're the better team right now, so Colts it is for me.
Yeah, it's not really going to be a fun game. The Houston Texans defense is going to get exposed because they're weak. So give me the Indianapolis Colts. They are -7, and they will cover.
Did you guys know that Deshaun Watson is second in offensive passing yards? For such a bad team, he's still up there.
They traded for David Johnson because they thought that'd be fun.
Yeah.
And here we are.
So, yeah, it's Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
And the Texans are not looking good, and that's not Deshaun's fault. But, of course, the Colts are also in that playoff scenario like the Bills and the Titans, so they have to. It's a must-win for them, and I think the Colts will continue to pull that off.
All right, then we got the Patriots, who just got demolished this past week, going against the Miami Dolphins. Miami has proven themselves to be a very good quality team. They are now 8-5 after the Chiefs defeated them by 6 points, I believe it was. But with that said, I think the Dolphins are the easy win here.
Yeah, no, you guys got to go with my prediction from last week. Miami is going to lose their last 4 games of the season, which means the Patriots are going to win this game. You know, Miami's got those injuries out there, and they're not as good as we thought they were. Give me the Patriots.
I don't know. Are we all scumbags for not picking the Patriots? I know you're not, Mike, now.
Well, I'm not picking the Patriots. Oh, now we're scumbag. Oh, of course.
Because Dave Portnoy,
Yes, we got to care about what he cares about, of course. Otherwise, you're a scumbag.
I just can't believe that guy.
Our whole segment, he would call it like the ultimate version of scumbaggery.
Yeah, he would
be talking about Travis Kelce the way we did.
free advertising, right? I'm all for it. So, Jason, your take on that? Dolphins losing the 4. You haven't been wrong about too much on that. I think I'm going to go with you on this. I think the Patriots are going to come back and beat the Dolphins, and that's going to help the Bills out tremendously. So I'm going Patriots on this one as well.
All right, then after that, we have an interesting one with the Bears at the Minnesota Vikings. And I know you seem to have some kind of thing with the Bears, Jason, for some reason, but I think the Vikings are actually a better team than the Bears are. I know Trubisky got some playing time this past week, so good for him.
He actually had a pretty good game, so
That's what I've heard. But I will go with the team that has more talent, and to me, that is the Vikings.
Yeah, I am going with the Bears. So Minnesota is -3. The Bears, at this point, guys, we don't know if they are who we thought they were. But I am going to go with Bears. Their offense is averaging 30 points per game the last 3 weeks. You know they got Mitchell Trubisky, so let's see what happens. I'll take the Bears in this game.
look, the Vikings came out hot and they lost it because they can't make kicks last week. But I am still going Vikings because I just don't believe in Chicago. I just can't get behind them to win at all. At all. I don't know how you're still picking the Bears, Jason.
They are who we thought they were.
Yeah, I've said that a few times about different people too. So, certain people out there might be who I thought they were, as well as the Bears. I mean, let them off the hook. All right. Then we have the Seattle Seahawks at the Washington team from D.C. What's the most politically correct way I can say their name other than football team? That's probably it then.
WFT.
Yeah, they're definitely not Redskins.
Not WTF. WFT.
So this game right here, I'm going to go with Seattle to win over the Alex Smith-led Redskins. But that's right. They're still the Redskins to me, damn it. It's still real to me. Give me Seattle for this one.
Yeah, so we don't even know if Alex Smith is going to play in this game.
He didn't practice today.
If they don't have Alex Smith, they have absolutely no chance at winning this game. So I am going to take Seattle. I wouldn't take them to cover the spread because I think, Washington, they're probably going to play it safe here with Alex Smith. So I wouldn't bet on him to play, but I do like that Washington defense. So give me Seattle, but they are not going to cover that -5.
It is Washington playoff time still, right? So they still need another 2 wins to be able to close this division out and get in the playoffs. Alex Smith is not missing this game unless he for sure can't go. Like, he has to be in a brace again. Washington beats Seattle.
All right, can we go quick on this one? Jacksonville, Baltimore for me.
I'll go quick. Jacksonville is allowing 200 rush yards per game in the last 3 weeks. I'll take the Ravens.
Go, Tanner. Fast.
Oh, man. Who's the quarterback?
Doesn't matter. Just go.
Oh, Baltimore then. All right.
All right, Jets and Los Angeles Rams. Are the Jets going to go 0-16?
0-16?
We're getting close. I think so. We're getting to that point. Give me the Rams all day.
Well, you know what? The Jets are 1-4 against the spread when they are double-digit underdogs. So the Rams are going to win the game. But, Mike, what I want to know from you is, do you think they can actually cover that 17-point spread?
Yes.
You think they will cover the spread? What about you, Tanner?
Rams?
17-point spread against the Jets. You think they're
I
going to cover?
they would.
All right. My vote is no because they're going to put in the scrubs at that point. But who cares? The Rams are going to win.
Hey, real quick, did you guys get that bet figured out from a few weeks ago when the Chiefs covered their?
He paid me.
Tanner, we already took care of this.
Making sure.
You've been gone.
yeah.
You've been gone for a month.
It's been a month, dude. I don't know.
You've been gone for a month. You've been missing out on all the action.
Jason gets his money. That's
He
all.
paid me my money. That's
Tanner's very
important.
adamant about you getting $5 from me.
Hey, I had to make sure, man.
I don't know why that is, but that's for
I'm
some
going
reason.
Rams.
You need to bring
guys.
that up again.
Rams are the best team in that division right now, so the Rams.
All right, and then we got the Eagles against the Cardinals in Arizona. Philadelphia did just defeat the New Orleans Saints, so give them some credit for that over there. But personally, I am an Arizona Cardinals kind of fan a little bit. I actually like them. I'm gonna go with Cardinals. I like what they're doing over there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I do like the Cardinals as well, but this is actually going to be my upset of the week. Give me some Jalen Hurts. He offers a new element to that running game, and I am going with the Eagles upsetting the Arizona Cardinals.
That's weird, Jason, because I'm following you with that. I'm going Eagles upsetting AZ because AZ can't be consistent and actually finish games. So
Wow.
I'm going Eagles to win this
Interesting
game.
picks, you guys. Interesting, very much. So, guys, let's do some score predictions real quick for the Chiefs at Saints at 3:25 p.m. This is your game of the week, people out there. This is potentially a Super Bowl match. It could happen. It's very possible. So, with that said, I'm going to go Chiefs getting the victory here of, give me some 31-23 Chiefs.
Ooh, so you're not picking the Chiefs to lose. So,
I'm picking them to win 31-23
okay.
over the Saints.
He learned his
All right.
lesson.
Well, I will
Okay.
I'm also going to pick the Chiefs to win the game. They are -3 right now at New Orleans. You know, Mahomes is 3-0 indoors for his career with a 91.8 passer rating in those games. I will take the Chiefs 24-20, which means they will cover that 3-point spread.
Yeah, that's kind of funny, Jason, because I'm taking it 28-24. Chiefs cover.
Same thing. Take the bet.
Yep.
That's a good bet. Solid bet.
I think the Chiefs end up getting close to 30, but don't quite hit 30. But I think the Saints come back in the third, fourth quarter like the Chiefs like to let other opponents do, and 28-24.
So CBS must have locked in that Chiefs game to where it could not be moved, because why are we watching the Browns and Giants on Sunday Night Football at 7:20 p.m.? That should not be the game.
Oh, week
that
4
sh-
or week
right.
15. Come
CBS
on.
had to have locked in that Chiefs game to where it could not be flexed. So that's what I'm assuming happened. So instead, we are stuck watching the Browns and Giants. Wonderful.
It's all about Baker Mayfield. I mean, he gets all the endorsements. So, you know, there's a big following out there for Baker Mayfield.
There's actually a current clause with CBS contract where they are allowed to lock in certain games. Because it used to be you could flex whatever game you want with the NFL. CBS made it to where there's like 1 or 2 games, I think, every week they can choose to keep, and they kept the Chiefs and the Saints. So I think that's what ended up going down on their end anyway. But yeah, give me the Browns to win.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Browns as well. This is actually my easy money bet of the week. If you guys have any bets that you want to place out there, Cleveland is -3.5. That's an easy cover. Browns are going to play angry, dude. They just lost that heartbreaking game against the Ravens, and they're easily going to cover that 3.5-point spread.
Yeah, Browns come back from that game last week. I'm not seeing much of an issue with the Giants, so I'm going Browns for sure.
All right, then for Monday Night Football, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers, who've lost 2 in a row now to the Cincinnati Bengals. And the Steelers are a better team than the Bengals. So I'm going to give the Steelers a lot of credit in that. And they should have no problem winning this game. And so Steelers move on to 12-2.
Yeah, make no mistake, the Steelers have to win this game. They are -12. Bengals have a -6 turnover ratio in the last 3 games since losing Joe Burrow. So Pittsburgh is actually going to cover that 12 points in this game. Give me the Steelers.
Yeah, this is an easy game because there's no Joe Burrow. Now, if Joe Burrow was playing right now, the Steelers would lose their last 4 weeks, the last 4 weeks of the season. But because there's no Joe Burrow, the Steelers win this game.
Absolutely. What they got, that wraps it up, right, for the pick'ems and everything
I think
today?
that wraps it up, man.
I think that's all the games anyway. So With that said, you guys have anything else you want to talk about real quick before we are done here?
Hey, NBA starts here in what? We got a week. Right?
Yeah. No, we're already in the preseason.
Holy camoles!
We're already in the preseason, so I will be doing a solo podcast this weekend, guys. If any of you guys want to tune in, we've got some great topics for any of you guys that are interested in the NBA. So
Yeah,
I will upload that on Saturday.
Awesome.
Yeah, for some funny news, you guys, Tom Cruise lost his shit over COVID.
Yeah, he did
recently,
on his
so
crew.
I don't know if you guys. I mean, I'm not very into. I'm not on a lot of social media. I am on Chiefs Planet, by the way, out there listening. If you guys are on there, and he went ballistic on the Mission Impossible 7 crew, and he is the producer, by the way. But apparently, they were doing something wrong with COVID protocols. I don't know whether it had to do with masks or distancing or what it may be. But yeah, he lost his shit. So Tom Cruise was getting crazy.
Here's the thing I'll say about Tom Cruise: when you have that much money. And you have a bunch of people that you see not following protocol, and I'm just going to put myself in his shoes. You are going to nitpick every single thing they do because you are Tom Cruise, and you can say whatever the heck you want.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that, actually.
Well, heck, guys, let's wrap her up, man. Hey, make sure you give us a follow: Facebook, Twitter, Insta. Yeah, I said Insta. We're out there as well. We got YouTube going on. And then, of course, on all major podcast platforms, we are also located on. But, catch us weekly, or actually daily, on our social media, as we will be posting little clips as well. But, yeah, I mean, any other shout-outs?
No, I'm just happy to have you back, Tanner. We missed you.
Yeah, I actually, this was really fun today, so I'm pretty happy to be back. So, but hey, guys, well, that's it for us. That's it for us.
Tanner's drunk.
And now on water. That's it for us today, guys. Everybody have a good week, and we will talk to you on our Christmas special next week.
Do you want to do it for me, Tanner? The sound off?
What is it again? We are out.
That's
No,
not
that's
my
fine.
sound.
I'll
That
do
yours?
it. Hey guys, we're gonna end it right here. I will see you on the next one.
We are out.